Okay, today we're going to talk about another version of these giant 3D printed robot walking legs. This one I have left the slide switch in place, but I've added two relays. One relay is, instead of the switch controlling the motors in the feet directly, the switch is going to control the relays. One of the relays is set up as a latching relay, and the other one is set up as a reset or unlatching relay. And what that allows it to do is, no matter how slow the switch changes its position here, the leg action would continue to run. So I'm going to be running this on 3 volts for this demo. And if I can get the camera set up. So I have the control line here, which I'll connect to V+. As you can see, it marches along just fine without any problem. You watch up there and see the switch changing its transitions. I'm also thinking that I'll probably share these files in case you want to 3D print some giant robot motorized legs, probably on Thingiverse, and probably should give you some build tips on this. I haven't really thought this through, but I'm thinking I'm going to have to unsolder some wires to do this. So let's get the soldering pencil warming up here while we take some of this apart. It's going to be 2 metal shafts that go through the leg linkages all the way through both sides. So I'm going to shove one of the shafts out so we can get the legs down. This part of the legs is just cosmetic. This is non-load bearing, as you'll see. There are leg linkages inside, which are load bearing. So I'm pushing those out of the way. I don't really want to disconnect the wires up here. I'm going to try and disconnect them down below. We'll see how that goes. But here you can see some of the leg linkage. I'll move that leg up out of the way. Had I been thinking ahead, my soldering pencil would have been pre-warmed up so I could just take these 2 wires off this motor. It's getting warm. Sometimes we just don't think far enough ahead. There we go. We're getting it. Shouldn't take too long now. Okay, let's turn that down. So now I can remove this. You can see this part is non-load bearing, and in fact these halves print and I glue them together, and then I add these small number 2mm screws in there as pivot points that ride in those. Round part, of course, is the knee joint, so that's going to face towards the front. And you have these 2 leg linkages, which you can see are different. The front one is short, and you have a cutaway to go back against the motor. This one is longer, and it's got the pivot on top for that rod that you've seen in the other videos moves. Now the foot covers I don't even bother to glue on. They just seem to snap on nice and tight, so we can lift the foot cover. There's no front or back to that. I print it that way with supports in here, which just pop out quite easily. So here we have the main foot. Let's look at it from the gear side. As you can see, this is the front, the short one. This is the back. When you're putting this thing together, this will be in reverse. So one of the last things you'd do would be put these 2 center gears on. And the reason that I've got to take them off first and you put them on last is because they block me from getting a screwdriver easily onto those. I'm using 632 screws on these gears, and in this case I'm using 3/4 inch long 632 screws, like so. So now we can get to these screws that are holding the actual leg linkage. In this case I'm just using some 1/4 inch long on both sides. You don't, when you put them back in, you don't want to snug them up so tight that the leg linkage can't move, obviously. But you don't want them any sloppier than necessary. If you didn't have 1/4 inch, 3/8 would work. I think 1/2 inch might be a little bit too long. There we go. We get the leg linkage. And on this particular leg linkage is the top part, which I've covered in some of the other videos. You can see that screw down in there. I believe that's a 3/4 inch long screw to allow that to pivot. Okay, so on this part, you've got these braces on both sides, which do two things. One, they hold the TT gear motor in place, and two, they hold this piece of plastic, which I talked about earlier. It's for the pin and the cosmetic legs to ride on. And it looks like I'm using some 1/2 inch long 632 screws to hold those on. I won't bother to take this one off on the back. Obviously, if I took that one off and took this gear off, then you could just slide the TT gear motor up and out of there. This particular gear, which slides onto the TT gear motor, holding it on, I believe that was a 2mm screw, if I remember right. I can't remember really if it was 2 or 2.5. This particular gear motor, the blue one, this is the 90 to 1 gear ratio, and they come in single shaft and dual shaft. So I laid this out. If you had the dual shaft, the shaft could stick out here, so it wouldn't be a problem. I've got a capacitor on there just to help minimize motor noise in case I decide to hook this up with some radio control gear. This particular case, it's a 0.1 UF. Typical values would be anywhere from 0.1 down to as low as 0.01. The wheels are going to be the same on both sides. This is going to be a 632, and I think it's 3/4 of an inch long. Yep. And you can see it's got a spacer, and then this little part here is really a bearing, and you tighten it up all the way so that it grabs, that it'll grab onto the wheels. I'll just take one off because you'll get the idea from there. This side's the same as the gear side, except there's no gear. It just provides the bearing surface for holding the side in. And it, of course, doesn't need to be tight. And then the wheel itself comes out, which prints like this on your printer with no supports, and just snaps some rubber O-rings in there for traction. And there you have it. The foot part prints flat on your printer like that with no supports. And that's pretty much the build for the 3D printed parts. Now, if you want to add, if I can get that back far enough where it shows up, if you want to add the 2 relays so that the slide switch will work without that dead zone problem that, if you've watched my earlier videos, I cover. This, in my case, I used 3-volt single pole double throw relays. Very common, very inexpensive. You can also get them in 5 and 6 volt in case you wanted to run on higher voltages. And this top relay here is both the latch and the one that supplies the power to the 2 foot motor. See, this is 1 foot motor, this is the other foot motor. Both the motors have one wire tied to ground, and the other wire, one of them is going to go up to the normally closed contact of the relay, the other one is going to go up to the normally open contact of the relay, and then the common of the relay, that's your control line that you make positive when you want the walking action to happen. Then the coil of the relay, we need to wire so that it can become latching. So it'll stay in one position even if this slide switch, this represents that slide switch. Even if it moves slow and it's not making any connection to the other, you want the relay to stay locked in one position or the other, either locked in the normally closed, which is non-energized, or locked in the normally open, which would be, well, the locked position, for better of other words. The second relay is basically just used as a reset to unlatch this relay when the slide switch on the foot part moves. So in this particular case, let's pretend that this switch is in this upper position, which means V plus is coming up through here and to this side of this coil. It's coming, the other side of the coil is coming down to this second relay, and since that switch is up in that position, this coil is off, which means ground is going to come through common through the normally closed. So we have our ground, we have our V plus, that means this coil is energized, which means this connection here is down to normally open, which means this is the motor that's running. So this motor would continue to run until that switch eventually moves down to connecting these two. So all of a sudden then you have your positive coming through this side of the coil. The other side of the coil is going to ground, so now this is energized and it's connected down here, which we have nothing connected to. But that opens the circuit, so now there is no longer any ground provided for this coil. So this relay turns off, which means it is now connected up here to the normally closed. So now this motor is running. And that motor would continue to run until the slide switch went back up again, and the whole system repeats. So it's a very simple way of ensuring that no matter how fast or slow the switch moves, the motors will continue to run until they've completed their step. Okay, I think that's about it.